Welcome everybody. In case you just want to check you're at the right meeting. This is the celebration event for COVID and I'm Ashley Shaw, and I'm pleased to be joined today, in addition to all of you guys, by David Werrett, who's the Director of Workforce, and Mike Moore, who's the Chairman of the Trust. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the Medical Director. And so welcome. So I was just reflecting the other day on what we've managed to achieve over the past few months. I remember sitting with towards the end of October and early November with Giles and Ailsa and others as we started to think about how we might vaccinate staff at some stage with a date unknown. If a vaccine was approved, what would we do? And we brought in wider and wider teams. So there was teams from pharmacy, teams from estates. I'm bound to miss somebody here, as well as the teams from occupational health, the teams from the clinical research facility, on site, nursing teams, HR teams. How are we going to recruit all these people? And we have set ourselves up ready to go to vaccinate staff, as we thought we were going to be doing. And then suddenly, with about a week to go, we had to sort of do a huge, great turnaround. And then suddenly we were planning to do patients who are over 80 from the community, which brought a whole other heap of challenges for us. But at every turn, the team simply rose to the occasion. They managed to, we liaised increasingly with the CCG and the STP. We redesigned the Deakin Centre time and again, and we collaborated so well to be able to get things going. And then on the morning of the 8th of December, we had to take a punt to, should we open up the box of vaccines? Because at that time, we didn't actually know that we had enough people booked over the next 4 days to deliver 975 vaccines. The number is etched in my brain that we would have to take a punt on being able to book in 975 vaccines, when I think at the time we had fewer than 200 over 80s booked in. It was a very nervous decision that we took with Giles and Sunil and Kazim, and opening up that box. And then since then, I just want to share with you what we've done. So this is a slide that Sunil has very kindly prepared. So can you all see that? Yeah. So so this is the let me just go that so you can see it properly. So this is the vaccination program at Cambridge in sort of a graphical format. So we have delivered, you have delivered, not me. You have delivered over 46,000 doses of vaccine, and you've done it with remarkable efficiency and very, very little waste, way better than the national average, about 0.7% of doses wasted for various reasons. But that's a huge number of people. Lots and lots of normal saline, 54,000 syringes, 41 boxes of the ultra low temperature Pfizer received, thawed, defrosted in precisely 3 hours, with 1 more hour to move from site to site, and rules so complex that I've no idea how Sunil and Kazim managed it. And huge credit to everybody for what they've managed to achieve. And this is where we could see across the top how we were delivering for the over 80s to start with, and then we had a pause over Christmas, And then as we came back, then the whole rules changed again. And at this point, we started vaccinating healthcare workers. And I think credit to here, because at this point, when I challenged the team, could we get this going any faster? I think it was Kerry who came up with a new plan as to how we might change the whole of the Deakin Centre around and go from 250 to 650. So credit where it's due. The team on the ground were able to solve the problems and the issues. And then latterly, we've been able to bring back everyone who we've given our first dose to. We've managed to give them their second dose, all well within the time frame. And we've delivered, and you have delivered an amazing service to our staff, to our over 80s patients, and to those who are in the neighbouring trusts. We've delivered to, as I say, 23,000 individuals or more. And so I'd like to thank everybody who's participated in that. And you're not all CUH staff. We've got Papworth staff, we've got CPFT staff, we've got agency staff, we've got medical students, we have volunteers from around the trust, people from the university, huge numbers of people, and you've delivered a phenomenal effort. So those are the statistics. You're the ones that have made it happen. I think it's very rare that you can sort of, I think it's a fairly historical effort from the NHS to deliver this vaccine. I think this will be looked back upon as one of the greatest achievements of the NHS. So thank you to all of you, and thank you for being so brilliant and for helping make that history. I could say nothing more. I can't praise you high enough, but over to David, who I think also wanted to add a few words, but thank you from myself.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, how can I follow that? Making history, really good history, in an amazing service such as the NHS. You've added another chapter or another volume to what we are, what you are, what the service has done and does so well. So I add my congratulations to those of Mike, who may want to say a few words in a moment, and to Ashley. I celebrate the pace. I celebrate the innovation, the volume, the day in, day outness of what you've just done. I celebrate the precision of what you've done, the avoiding waste, the need to do it with such professional integrity, time after time after time. I mean, that's a pretty amazing thing for a service to do, deliver consistently across such a long, such a significant number of people, and to deliver it safely. Just stunning. Not everybody's done it in the way that you have done it at all. So I celebrate all of that stuff. But my head goes to the other side of my brain, if that's possible, to say, I also think you've done something even more amazing, which is create a bit of magic in our lives when we've probably had not enough excitement or magic or joy. You've been part of liberating us. You've been part of making us happy. Never have I seen so many happy people in a queue for some form of intervention. It doesn't happen in outpatients. It doesn't happen in the main hospital, but to have people happily queuing, not that long queue. I never saw a long queue, but people joyously saying, I'm off to the Deakin Centre. I'm going to have a vaccination, and coming out. And it's not something, it's not an impersonal thing. I have received my vaccination today. I've had two. I've had that. It's a very personal, joyous thing you've brought to the over 80-year-olds, or the people I'm interested in particularly, which is our workforce, our community, our health system. So you've made a high volume, highly process-driven a magical process for all, and I absolutely celebrate you all. I was going to start listing the groups, but just like Ashley, I will miss some or a few, but you all know. I think there's 396 of you who've been involved with this process over the past few months. Absolutely amazing what you've done, from nothing to creating joyous magic. So with no further ado, I celebrate you all, and I'm going to hand to Mike.
Yeah, thanks, David. So I'm Mike. So I'm chair of Addenbrooke's, the CUH, but I'm also actually chair of the Integrated Care System for Cambridgeshire and Peterborough. So I'm really delighted to add and have the opportunity of adding to what Ashley and David have said. And just to give a story, David made the point about people who received the vaccine being very, very positive about it. I was walking into the hospital, just parking my bike just near the Deakin Centre a couple of months ago, walked in, and there was this lady. This was the cohort of the 80-year-old patients, people who'd received the vaccine. And she was being picked up by her son in the car. And I mean, she didn't know who I was, but she said, "Oh, those people inside. She was so excited. She said, "They're so lovely. Oh, it's been lovely. And they were so kind, and they were so nice, and it was so efficient, and everything's been wonderful. I feel better now than I felt for the last 10 months. And that was unsolicited. I was just a random passerby walking by. But I know that, that experience was replicated not only by other 80-year-olds, but it was also true of the number of colleagues inside the hospital who've said the same. I've got a friend of my wife who works for CPFT, and she relayed to my wife how impressed she'd been by everything in terms of her experience of coming to the Deakin Centre to have the vaccine. She was really, really deeply impressed. And so I just wanted to say thank you. I was trying to think whether there's anything in similar kind of in my working life which is similar to this, and there isn't really, in a sense, to the experience we've all had and the stuff people have had to do over the last year. The closest I could come to it was some stuff I did in about 9 years and longer ago, in terms of making London ready for the 2012 Olympic Games, and that was the closest I could get to it. And there, what was common about it was there was a singleness of purpose, there was an urgency to it, there was a pride to it, and a recognition that you don't get a second go at this. You got to get it right first time. And people came together from all over in order to achieve that. That was the closest, to be honest, I could get in my experience to what I've experienced and seen by what you have collectively done over the last few months. And I think, Ashley's points about the complexity of it, Ashley's points about the regulatory aspects of it, the logistics of it, the care and precision that both Ashley and David have referred to. It's common for people like me, like a chair, to say, I'm very proud of people who work in, and I am, of course, I really am very proud. But actually, I'm also awestruck. I think it's awesome what people have done and how people have worked together and how people have just done a magnificent, magnificent job. And so I just really wanted to say very, very strongly, a real thank you. And I hope that you too can feel a sense of having contributed and achieved something that is really important. And I hope that we can continue to feel that sense of acknowledgement by people up and down the country, to you and to others in other places who've done similar things. It is, as Ashley said, one of the best things we've done. And you, each of you individually, and those who are not here today, have made that possible. So a real profound thank you. Thank you. Back to you, Ashley.
Yeah, as you and David were talking, Mike, I was just flicking through this. We've got 3 screens of people obviously here, and I just now need to apologise because I've obviously missed out loads of teams that have been integral to the whole thing. And if I start listing them again, I'm looking at Steve Upton from procurement, and James from security, and Nikki and Peter from Epic, and Deborah and Claire. So I'm just kind of if I've missed anyone out in my thanks, it's not that I'm not thankful or grateful in any way, shape or form, but that I think the list would be just too long and we'd just be sitting here listing them. So thank you very much. I think now we've got an opportunity for feedback from experiences from people who've been doing it, but I'm not entirely sure how that's being coordinated. So this is the slightly freeform thing. And if Giles wants to, there we go.
Thanks, Ashley. So, Kerry has got in her hand, hopefully, still got in her hand, some of the comments that we've had back from people that have been through the clinic. If she's able to share those, that would be great. And then if anyone else wants to open their mic up and dive in, that would be lovely too.
Okay, Kerry, the floor's yours.
So we had, I think, about hundreds, wasn't it, Annabelle? Yeah. Hundreds of feedback sheets from patients, especially our over 80s. Nearly every single one of them wanted to say thank you. So we picked out a few that we've been receiving. So I'll just read through a few. Thank you very much. I'm very grateful that you gave up your weekend. You are heroes. Well organised. I was super excited and grateful to have the vaccine. Thank you to the stabby jabby COVID angels. Thank you all. Efficient, friendly reception and vaccination, and so welcoming. Thank you. What a lovely team of people to look after us. A big thank you for all. Wonderful team, swift, safe service, and all with a smile. I can tell from your eyes. Brilliant, thank you. All staff are so helpful and lovely. Very efficient service. Aren't we lucky to have the NHS? Thank you for your amazing work. Service was outstanding. Together, we are one nation. We will beat COVID-19. Thank you again for your dedication. Couldn't be happier. All staff are brilliant and had a smile. Keep up the good work. Dear team, thank you so much. You have all been so friendly and welcoming, and the whole experience has been so well organised. Well done, exclamation mark. Absolutely brilliant. Makes me so proud of CUH. I think that might have been a staff member. We also had some lovely letters, such as this one, from Bright Horizons, the nursery, who we also vaccinated, and they said, we would just like to say a big thank you for including us in the vaccination programme. We work very hard to look after the children of Addenbrooke staff so they can continue to do the brilliant jobs without the worry of their children. As key workers, we are here to support you all. Thank you again, Long Road Nursery. And then we also have that we're very happy to share, and we can send around via email just because it's quite long. We had one gentleman who rewrote a poem. I think it was The Brigade, is it? Yeah. And he has rewritten that and dedicated to our team and to COVID in general and beating it through using the NHS. So that's absolutely wonderful. So we can send that one around as well. But I think nearly every single feedback sheet we had similar comments, all positive. And we joke about it. The only comment we did have was about signage, about finding the location in this big site. But overall, all brilliant comments, all absolutely wonderful, face-to-face and through paper. So thank you, everyone.
Okay, so thanks very much for that, Kerry. It's with some trepidation I throw the floor open if anybody wants to say anything about their experience. I don't think I think this may be a new experiment on Zoom with so many people, and it may go completely pear-shaped. But if anybody does want to say something, do jump in. Let's see how it goes.
I tell you what, why don't we rather just tell everybody, if you want to chat, then just pop up your hand virtually, and then I can ask you to unmute yourself and we can take it in turns. How about that?
You're no fun, Nikki, but
sorry.
There you go.
Quickly start and then I'll hand over from me.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if Keith wants to join in as well, but I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone that's here and everyone who isn't here. This experience has gone from 6 weeks to 5 months almost, and honestly, it's been long. We know it has 7 till 7 some nights, 7 days a week, working bank holidays, but it's been the team that's made it enjoyable. You've all been so dedicated, so hardworking. Everyone's willing to stay late. Everyone's willing to go the extra mile to ensure the patients have the highest quality care that we can give. I want to say a heartfelt thank you. You've made this an enjoyable experience for me and made it a pleasure. This is something that's going to be always in my memories, and I'm so thankful to have met every single one of you and had the opportunity to work with you. So thank you very, very much from myself and from the COVID team and the occupational health staff as well. Thank you so much.
Okay, do we have any other hands up?
Actually, I could just say I had the same vaccinator twice. What's the chance of that? An absolute wonderful experience on both occasions for the man who has the biggest dislike of needles. And not only that, we had a chat about life, and we talked about the individuals who've been vaccinated before me, who were a couple who've been married for 60 or 70 years, and they came as a pair to be vaccinated. So it was the care that got me, the absolute, in a production line. I don't know how you all did. I'm looking at all of you on my screen. I don't know how you did it from whatever stage you were involved in the process, that it felt like a personal experience. I will never forget that either. Thank you.
It was for charity, David. We raffled off who got to stick a needle in your arm, and they paid very good money, but we weren't going to tell you. But there we go.
Thank you.
Anyone else who wants to jump in? Don't be shy. Sarah Pacey.
I'll go after. Go on.
I've got Sarah.
Yeah, hi, thank you. It was just a quick comment. Obviously, I want to thank the pharmacy team colleagues for doing such a sterling job. I know when we went out for expressions of interest, you know, we were looking for quite a few different skills across our services, and we had lots of interest. It was, you know, fantastic. And I think just a personal reflection for CUH is that the project's really shone a light on how effective a collaborative approach can be, given the multiple teams involved, the range of skills and contributions. And I think it's, you know, I think it's incredible, really, quite humbling.
Thanks, Sarah. Before you come in, Giles, there's somebody who's next to you on the screen who's listed as Richard on the
Oh, no, I'm actually Tina. That's my husband. I just worked on the admin, and I'd like to say that when I was getting a bit bored with all that inputting, that I would lean over the balcony from floor 3 and listen to all the people coming in, and they were so happy, and it was kind of a bit of, I can carry on doing this with this, you know, the inputting of the NIBS forms wasn't particularly stimulating, but when you heard how happy people were receiving the vaccination, it kind of gave you a little bit of a boost. That was it. That's from the admin side.
Thank you. That's really good to hear. Giles.
So I absolutely echo everybody's thanks to the massive team that's been involved. But actually, I was just reflecting back to the moment where we took the first pizza box, as it's commonly known, out of the freezer. As you say, it was a leap of faith, I think, to say the least. And in that moment, it was just the complete trust and confidence of the team that we were going to do this. And we knew as soon as we started, didn't we, that this was the journey we were on. But in that moment, it was the complete confidence of all of you that we were going to do it. And we were going to do it well, and we were going to do it safely. And this was a project of so many unknowns. But if anyone was going to do it, we were. So thank you for delivering on that. You've been amazing, and always dangerous to single people out. But I think it's entirely right that I acknowledge my 2 colleagues in this room that I'm with right now, because they have kept me propped up through the last 4.5 months, and they've been here when I'm not, and they've enabled me to have some sleep and various other things. So big thank you to James and Elsa, but a massive thank you to absolutely everybody. You've been amazing.
Yeah, thank you, brilliant work, guys. Yeah, Sunil, I think did think I was, and Kazim did think I was slightly mad when I said, please open the box with about 200 people booked and about 800 more to go. But you found enough people, so that was good. Yes, you're nodding. You did think I was mad, but you did it anyway, which is good. Anyone else who wants to jump in and say anything? No. Okay. Well, I think we'll probably. I'll probably try and wrap it up together. I think Kerry, there's a display of the notes over in the Deakin Centre. Is that right? Kerry, have you gone?
Hi. So we don't have a display per se, but we can arrange that. But we do have a photo board.
Okay.
Which we have of all the pictures of all the staff over the past couple of last days, just to celebrate and say thank you. But we can also share a lot of those feedback on a board as well.
Okay, well, that would be great. So I think probably if I wrap it up, I think probably just to summarise, I think the next bit is obviously we finished today. It was the quietest day for a while, I think, actually today. So that was good. Gave everybody time to pause and reflect and clear up properly. I think, if I understand correctly, Giles and the team are hoping to try and organise some sort of face-to-face celebration as social distancing allows, probably after June the 21st. So look out for details of that. It would be great to be able to do something face-to-face. And then I think it only leaves for me to say thank you very much to, and I hope I get this right, all of you stabby jabby vaccination angels. And I suspect we may hopefully all be meeting again in the autumn for booster time. I can see everybody's looking forward to that already and starting the planning. But thank you very much. You've all been amazing. Thank you. Maybe if you all take your thing off mute, I think a round of applause for each other.
Oh.